the biggest thing is just pushing yourself to do it. You can't get comfortable with something if you never do it. So it's kind of just like even in moments where I usually wouldn't talk or I wouldn't think to say something, just trying to, just talk to the guys, even if it's something like good job, quick little high five. It kind of just almost like getting reps in. Like if you're getting shots up, just do that. And I think that just leads to you just becoming more comfortable with like talking to guys in different moments. So I think that's just been the biggest thing.
What does leadership mean to you?
That's a great question. I think there's so many aspects to leadership, but I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, is that people want to follow you. They want you to be the person leading them. I think if you're doing that, you're accomplishing a good enough job where they believe in what you're doing, but then also respect you in a way. It's not just they're following you because they're scared of you or fear you. If you don't do it, they're going to get in trouble. But I think they're following you because they believe in what you're doing.
Aside from basketball, how has your life changed since March?
I feel like it's still the same. I think the biggest thing is that more people coming up to you, talking about mostly the shot and then just the run we went on. But I was still doing the same old thing, still living the same life.
You comfortable with the added attention?
It's cool, but I'm definitely like I don't need attention. You know what I mean? But it's definitely I definitely enjoy it when it makes fans' day or makes someone's day talking about it.
So how many times have you watched a replay of the shot, and how many times while you're watching it are you concerned it isn't going to go in this time?
I don't know if I could tell you like how many exact times. It's been a lot though for sure. And no, I've never worried about it not going in. So thankfully it did. But yeah, I've definitely watched it a good amount of times.
I wanted to ask about your lacrosse career. I was just curious, how close were you to being a lacrosse player before you eventually committed to Stanford?
I was probably a few months away because I graduated senior year. I was signed to go to Maryland to play lacrosse, and so I guess that's a few months until you start summer workouts, and then I think some things changed, and I ended up at Stanford. So I was a month or two away from being a lacrosse player.
Playing at all, playing lacrosse?
Yeah, I definitely miss competing in lacrosse. When I go home, I'll go play a little bit. Some of my buddies or my brother. So I have some sticks in my room, in my dorm. So I definitely keep it close. I still watch it and everything. So I definitely still love the sport.
Did you ever see your career playing out the opposite of your brother? He played 3 years at Maryland, or 4 years at Maryland, and played in basketball last year. Did you ever think that was going to happen with you?
That was always a possibility. People talk about it and things like that, but for me, basketball is where my heart is right now, so I don't know if I'm making that switch.
So going back to Stanford, how does it feel to have them kind of follow you to the ACC? Do you feel like they're following you?
No, I don't feel like they're following me, but I think it's definitely pretty cool. It's going to be, for me at least, I get to go back there and play one more game on that campus and in those facilities, which is an unbelievable experience. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it's going to be a little weird though playing against the Stanford Cards. So, but it'll be fun.
Maxine talked about it earlier, saying that he did reach out to you, after that shot. How much did you guys have conversations last year about your success and everything that you went through with him too?
Yeah. I keep in touch with them, all the guys on the team, pretty frequently. Some more than others, obviously. But definitely touch base with him, and we were chatting it up, just talking about basketball first, and then just life and how everything's going. I went out to visit Stanford and some of the guys before they graduated, so I saw them out there too after the season. So I definitely talk to those guys often, and they're good friends, good guys. So I love catching up with them.
Coach Keats said, I think, back in January, that you would rather lead the team in assists than in points. Where does that come from, and has that always kind of been the case for you?
I don't know how long it's been the case for me, but it's for me, it's more so, you always obviously want to be the best player you can be, but at the end of the day, I'm a part of a team and I want the team to win. So if my role's got to be the guy who's getting all the assists and doing all the dirty work in a sense, sign me up for it. That's what I'll do, because it's great and all having individual moments, but winning an ACC championship like that it's more meaningful than any of the other moments I've had throughout this past season. So for me, it's whatever I got to do for the team to win, I want to do. So if that means I got to lead the team in assists over points, so be it.
we saw your shot get more consistent down the stretch last season, but how much has a guy like Brett Nelson kind of helped you to have more consistency this offseason and even improve your shot at times?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job of just breaking down my shot mechanics and everything. I think one of the biggest things we focus on too is footwork. Square my body to the hoop as fast as I can, and we definitely put in before every practice we get a shoe workout in and stuff like that. So he's definitely helped me with a lot of things, with especially footwork too, just to make sure I'm always ready to shoot.
How do you balance the idea of moving past last year, starting fresh, starting new? Last year doesn't matter, but at the same time, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys learned lessons from it that are, there's probably a little bit of a push and pull there. Like, how have you sort of reconciled those two kind of thinking?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head, is the fact that the lessons. It's great we went through that, but at the same time, we can't just be like, we won that, so we're going to win every other game. Like, that's obviously not the case. So I think the biggest thing is what you took away from last year, how we approached different games, and from when we did well and when we didn't do well. That's obviously the biggest thing, is trying to correct those mistakes, and just trying to just get better every day. It's going to be, you have some highs, but you want to make sure you're always working no matter what to continue those highs.
Do you think that there's more, people talk about bullseyes and targets when people are highly ranked? You guys, because you're off a Final Four appearance, there may be a different scrutiny that comes with that, both maybe with the media, both with, teams you play. Do you anticipate that to be the case?
There might be a little different. It might be a little different at target on our back this year, but for us, I don't think it's going to matter much, because from all the things people were saying about us, good and bad, last year, it never really impacted too much how we competed on the floor. The biggest thing is just controlling what we can control and not, what everyone else is saying.
At the same time, this team is also being looked at as like the 8th or 9th best team in the conference right now. Do you feel like that kind of helps you guys to still have that motivation to go out there and do the same thing that you did last year?
Yeah, I would definitely say there's some aspect to it. For especially returners, it's kind of, I feel like last year, I don't know exactly what we were projected to be, but we were
About the
lower
same,
around
yeah.
the same thing exactly. And but at the end, we proved we know we were capable of doing. So at this point, rankings don't really matter to start the year right now. It's going to be just showing everyone what we're capable of doing.
Michael, what were the lessons gleaned from last season, both the highs and the lows, and maybe not to go to an ACC tournament where, oh my gosh, hair on fire, we've got to win this thing just to get into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for our guys is like preparation. I think always making sure we're preparing the right way. It's easy after you win a game or two to kind of, get a little comfortable in what you've been doing. So I think no matter what you've done, still relying on preparation and preparing as if this is your championship game every day is the biggest thing.
Mike, you left the Purdue game with cramps, with an injury. Obviously, y'all are heading out to San Diego to face them again.
Yeah.
What's that going to be like for you, and hopefully getting to play the full game?
Hopefully I play the full game. I'm just excited for the opportunity. There's not going to be any, underlying feelings. It's just going to be another game that we want to go out there and win, no matter who the opponent is, and it's just going to be a great opportunity to play them again.
Do you like the non-conference schedule? That game going to Allen Field is very challenging. Schedule to start.
Yeah, but that's what you want, when you're playing at this level. You want those challenging games, you want those big games to kind of show what we're capable of. So I'm definitely excited for all the games we had this year.
Michael, where do you think this team, what are the changes from this team from last year, and where are you guys better, or at least conceivably right?
Yeah, I think the obvious big change is the players we lost and the players we gained. I think, it's hard to replace certain players we lost, but we have some new guys that are coming in that are really talented. I think one thing for us is we hopefully can play a little faster, hopefully even faster than we want to, like get up and down, fly, pressure the ball, and I think that can really help us throughout the year.
Starting leadership this year, making sure you guys, we talked about that tough non-conference schedule. You want to get to February where you don't need that 5 and 5 day situation. How big is that?
I think it's huge. Don't get me wrong, it was a great story, but it's also very challenging to do. So you want to put yourself in a better position where you don't have to win as many games at the end of the year. So it just comes to just the whole season preparation, is winning games and kind of executing from the beginning. Obviously, it's not easy to do when you have a bunch of new guys, but all we got to do is really work towards it and just hope for the best and just keep working.
It's hard with the transfers to sort of mesh sometimes early on?
At times, yeah. I feel like every program's going to go through it. It's just not easy when you have players coming from all these different programs. But so far, the guys have been meshing really well, and everyone's kind of buying in pretty quickly. So I'm expecting good things.
Commissioner Jim Phillips called the ACC undervalued. Feels like there's more teams that should have made the tournament the last few years. With what you guys were able to do last year, what is your assessment after playing in the ACC for something like that?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to discredit any of the teams that made it and say other teams should have made it over them, but I know just from playing in the ACC that we have a lot of talented teams, and a lot of teams definitely could have made it and competed in one game. So I agree to the standpoint that AC teams are very good. They could have easily competed and won a lot of games, but at the same time, I don't want to discredit other teams that made it.
Sorry for already answering this, but you talked about being a leader this year. Is there anyone specifically you've really taken under your wing during this offseason?
I would just say, the freshman guards, the biggest thing. I know it's a pretty difficult transition at times from, playing in high school or before you get to college and whatever leagues you're in and stuff like that. But just trying to explain things to them and try to help them understand what goes on. It's obviously high school basketball is very different than college with the different structure and how we play and rotations and different things like that. So just trying to pull them aside and just explain things, whether it's just simple of try to do an entry pass or how to run an offense. I think the younger guys are someone you always try to help out the most.
NC State is known for having kind of rabid fans, and that was probably proven when they showed up for y'all at 1:30 in the morning to welcome you back from the Elite Eight. So what excites you about going to play for the fans again, and what message do you have to Pac Nation?
Yeah, I would just say they're great fans. They're dedicated and they want to see us do well, and they're there for us at 2 in the morning supporting us because they care and they want to see us do well, and we're just glad that we can win games for them. We were able to win that championship last year for them, and hopefully we can make some more happy moments for them.
Michael, during when we spoke with you all a couple of weeks ago, one thing that Coach Keith said was that the defense might be further along than it was this time last year. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that growth, and what do you attribute to the defense being better this point than last year?
Yeah, I would definitely say our defense has come along earlier than we were last year. I just think we just have a lot of guys who are very good at defense. They're very active. They're very hands in the passing lane, able to guard the ball one-on-one. So, especially from the guard position, we have a lot of great guys that came in with quick feet and it's not easy to get by them. So I think that just helps, when you have great on-ball defenders to make the defense flow a little better.
Both you and Jaden kind of went through spells where you were coming off the bench, he was coming off the bench, obviously kind of flip-flopped in the postseason. How much did you learn from having to earn that role all last season and going into this year knowing hey, I might be the guy, but at the same time, my spot's not guaranteed?
Yeah, I think Coach kind of talks about it too with the team early on. It's you got to go out there and work hard every day, and you got to prove yourself. No matter, you can be playing your best game, but if other guys are performing well, it's just how it is. So for me, especially not starting early on, and you might not play in the minutes you want to do, you got to just stay consistent, because at some point you might have that moment where you have to go in the game and you need to be ready. If you're not ready, you're going to lose that opportunity to go in the game the next time. They'll put someone else in. So I think every guy's kind of had a little bit of experience with that. Is that always got to be ready, no matter if you're starting, playing 20 minutes, playing 5 minutes, playing the whole game. You should stay consistent with your work and be ready when your number's called.
How have you seen Jaden kind of grow into this new role that you've kind of taken on this year, especially just maybe score a little bit more with guys at ball?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's just with scoring. I think overall he's really. He's an older guy. He's a leader on the team, right? I think it's been pretty cool to see him. He's talking to younger guys, trying to help them through different things. He's very vocal on the defensive end, trying to help guys, just talking. And obviously from a scoring aspect, we know he can score. It's not really a question. He's always doing this thing in practice. It's never fun guarding him, one-on-one isolation. But yeah, I think overall he's been doing a great job helping lead our team and just help get guys better.
How much different is he in that, from this time last year, you guys first year in the program?
Yeah, I think it's tough when you're just a new guy. You never want to come in and almost overstep your boundary in a sense. The guys have been here a little longer than you, so you never want to come in and be that guy no one wants to play with or be around. So I think now that he's a returner and he's kind of established who he is and how he plays, he's able to be a little more confident in what he does.
The difference between you coming in this year as opposed to last year where you were new, now you're settled at NC State, just describe that difference.
Yeah. I would say like I was kind of just talking about, when you first come in, you never want to overstep. You don't really know the people you're working with. You want to become comfortable with your surroundings, and I think that was a process throughout the whole year of just kind of gaining the trust with guys, building a bond with guys on and off the court. Whereas it comes to this point, I have a group of guys I played with that I went to battle with throughout the whole season. So obviously we have that bond from last year, but now it's building a bond with new guys where I'm more comfortable in this environment where they might be a little less uncomfortable, whether they're coming from different teams or high school. So I think just going out of my way to talk to guys and help them get through what I went through last year.
Like, what's the secret that you guys were doubted last year? Then you went on and had the run that you did. But now it feels like, again, with the turnover that you guys had, there's not a lot of commotion around the team leading into this new season. Does it feel like that for you guys also?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's an extreme amount of hype around our team right now, and people anticipating us going far, winning a lot of games, but it doesn't really bother us. It's kind of people say good things about us, bad things about us, but the biggest thing is we focus on what's kind of going on in our locker room and with our team, and we just want to do what we can do and control what we control, because we can't control what people say about us.
Do you feel the fire at all?
I would say there's some aspect. You always want you want to prove people wrong and show them that obviously we did it last year and we're capable of doing it again, but we don't want that to dictate like our emotions or how we feel. We notice it, but the biggest thing is just how we work.
Hey, Michael. You guys won 5 games in 5 days, and then you took around that run to the Final Four. How special was that month, pretty much?
Yeah, that was one of the best times of my life for sure. Obviously, won an ACC championship. Not many people can say they did that, and the fact that we can go on and win some games to the Final Four. It's something you dream about as a kid, is playing in March Madness, winning games, making big plays, big moments. So it really was a dream come true, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And playing those games probably help you guys for this year, because you played all those games last year until March. Maybe it's a little bit more.
Yeah, you've played in big time environment, so you're kind of used to, if we're going to different places or close games, you've been there before, so it's nothing new in a sense.
Coach said that ACC play is a big reason why you guys were able to win all those games and go to the Final Four. But there's been a lot of talk about the non-conference schedule to help more teams from the conference get into the tournament. In your opinion, how can you guys capitalize on the non-conference portion of the season when it comes so early and the team doesn't really know their identity just yet?
I guess
Sorry, it's a loaded question.
No. I guess the simplest thing is you got to win games. It's obviously it's early for us, but it's early for everyone else. It's obviously we all have the same time or close to the same time to prepare and get better. So just right now until the games start, we really need to lock in and just get better every day. We got to control what we control, make sure everyone's in the gym, make sure everyone's doing the right things, taking care of their bodies, staying healthy, and the main point at that time is to win games. You're going to have to do it to help yourself out for the end of the season.
What excites you about the non-conference season? It's a short slate, but a challenging slate.
Yeah, it's just you're playing great teams, and that's kind of what you want to be doing in college basketball. You want to play big time teams and big time environments. Like that's what it's about. It's it's a great portion of it, and it's very exciting. So I think I'm just looking forward to that.
Will it be weird to face Stanford this year?
It definitely will be weird to be not wearing the uniform and playing against them, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be exciting to get out there and one more time and play them.
How surreal is that it's a conference game too that you're playing in?
Yeah, it's gonna be really weird, but again, because I'm gonna be playing against them and not wearing the uniform, playing at their place. So, but it's gonna be cool.
Is there anybody that you maintained a relationship with that you're talking to now that you're in the same conference?
Yeah, so there's 4 or 5 guys that are back. They even had a transfer, and I played in high school with. He went to Duke for a little bit. Like the 2 guys that are here today, those are good friends of mine. So it's gonna be funny playing against them, seeing them. But it's gonna be competitive when we step on the court.
Trash talk? Or is that your style?
I'm not really a trash talk kind of guy, Yeah, I'm more just if I'm getting excited or any emotions with my team. I don't really try not to deal with the other team as much, but no, it'll be all good spirits when we play.
Jamie said that your leadership has kind of rubbed off on you to become a more vocal leader, and that you reach players by the way they need to be talked to. So where did that come from? How did you develop that?
I think the biggest thing is just growing up playing with so many different players from so many different areas. You learn that not everyone receives information or advice the same way. for even me, myself, from other guys I play with, I receive it differently than them in terms of how people talk to you. So I think just the first thing is you got to build a bond with the guy. You got to learn who they are, how they like to be talked to, and then from there start building that confidence every day. That like when I'm talking to them, I'm trying to help them. It's not I'm trying to blame them or put them down. It's more so like I'm just trying to give you advice to help you out for yourself and for the team. Yeah.
When it comes to Jaden himself, I mean, what have you seen from him on and off the court from a growth standpoint, given the confidence that you gained from last season and obviously knowing what he has to do this upcoming season too?
Yeah, I think one cool thing is he's been pretty level-headed about it all. He doesn't feel like there's any pressure getting to him where he has to go out there and perform or he has to do so well. He knows what he has to do. He knows he's going to be a big part of this team. I believe he'll be a big part of this team. But he's still pretty level-headed about it. He gets in the gym every day, works out, and just gets better at his craft. And I think it's pretty impressive to see a guy like that who when there's that much outside pressure, it doesn't really get to him too much.
You mentioned a lot of guys on this team upping their defense early on. I mean, how tough is it going against him from a defensive standpoint?
He is not a fun guy to have guarding you in practice. You just know if you let the ball hang a little too much or you make a lazy pass, he's stealing it going the other way. I feel like the other day we were on the same team and I think he had like 6 steals in practice in passing lanes, stuff like that. So it is unbelievable how good he is, just on-ball defender and then obviously off-ball.
Going back to last season, when you decided to transfer here, what was that key component of wanting to come to ACC? Was it key to like this culture that you have here, or is it more to?
I think there was a lot of things, definitely a combination of things. I think one of the biggest things is obviously Coach Keats and the program they have here. What they had in mind and what I was looking for out of the portal was something that was definitely interesting. They wanted to play fast, a lot of shots, and I love that he had so much confidence in me coming in. When I first came on my visit, he broke down my film, showed me where I can fit in the offense and where I can even grow. And when you have a coach already, when you first get there, he's telling you, I know I can help you get better as long as you're like willing to buy in. It's something that's huge where you just know he has confidence. It's like when you have a coach that has confidence in you on the court, it makes the game so much easier. You don't have to worry about looking over your shoulder if you mess up. Like even if you miss a shot, he doesn't mind. He wants to take the next one because he's seen you work. And then just coming closer to home with something on the East Coast, something that was ideal too, to have the parents and family come out to more games.
Did you think other transfers coming in, whether it was JT, Diarra, Warren, was that transition easier coming with other guys that work from other programs too?
I think it definitely makes it a little easier because if there's 12 guys that are already on a team and they're all returning and I'm just a new guy, you feel like the odd guy out sometimes. But when everyone's so new, it's just everyone's trying to learn about each other, the new guys and the returners. So I think it does make it a little easier just because you have to go out of your way to learn about someone because you've never talked to them before.
Yeah, and then you have 4 or 5 new transfers this year. What do you tell them from what you learned last year transitioning to NC State their first season?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just ask questions. It's kind of hard to learn things if you don't ask questions, and if you're in the dark on the information, it's going to be tough. So whether it's just about school, about campus, or obviously basketball, just don't be afraid to ask. Like no one's going to judge you because we had the same exact questions you had last year.
Who did you ask those questions to last year?
Casey. Casey was my roommate, so that was the easiest guy. Whether it was if I didn't think of it at practice, thought about it later on the day, I could just talk to him in the room and just hang out and chat. So he was definitely my go-to guy for sure.
And talked a little bit earlier about you coming off the bench last year, but how nice is it going into this year knowing you have a little more of a defined role? Like you don't, not saying you don't have to earn your spot,
of course, yeah.
But you go into it knowing, okay, I'm the floor general, I'm going to be the point guard for this team, and knowing, all right, I don't have to be somebody I'm not going into this year.
I would say it definitely makes life easier. You definitely, as the coach and team know what I can provide and help out with and what I'm capable of doing. So it's great that you don't got to worry about being perfect every day. I mean, I obviously want to play the best I can and do everything right, but you're going to make mistakes. That's just how the game goes. But I don't got to worry about I turned the ball over like it's the end of the world or I missed open shot. They don't think I could shoot or stuff like that. But it's more like a calming effect. I'd say is I still got to go work and earn everything, but at the same time, like I've shown what I'm capable of doing when I'm playing my best basketball.
All right, and kind of a cliche question here, but what are your personal expectations for this year and team expectations as well?
Yeah, team expectations is always the same, no matter what it's coming in. We want to win championships. That's the goal. That's one of the reasons I came here too, is I want to win championships. And personal expectations, I just want to really do the best I can to help this team win. Whether, what I talked about before, if it's just having as many assists as I can, scoring, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I want to be a part of this winning team and win championships. So whatever I have to do, I want to do, and I'm going to be willing to do it. It's kind of how I've always been. So I'm just excited to just go out there and fill the role I need to fill.
Not growing up as like an NC State fan or knowing a ton about NC State, how much perspective have you gained since what happened in March, you know, relative to what it's meant to NC State fans, older fans that have never seen those types of things accomplished?
Yeah, it is tough to like fully understand like what people say went through. They haven't won in a while and stuff like that. And when they come up to me and say how grateful they are, but just seeing how many people are so happy and how it impacts them so positively has been something that's been pretty unbelievable. Any person you see, they've loved the experience. They've been so happy. They explain the last game they went to, you know, that was a big time game, and their last experiences. So it's been pretty cool to kind of pick up bits and pieces here and there about people's experience, just like the history.